May the Lord give this council the wisdom, discernment and courage to serve the community. Grant also that we may act compassionately and with integrity in the best interest of this Shire. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. I would like to show respect and acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land and elders past, present and future on which this meeting takes place. Councillors, just stay standing for a minute. I'm going to call on the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Burns, to recite the ode.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. Thank you, councillors. Okay, we'll move on. Application for attending meeting by video link.
Nil, Mr. Mayor.
Nil, apologies. Applications for leave of absent.
Nil received, Mr. Mayor.
Public participation.
Again, nil public participation, Mr. Mayor.
Confirmation of the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 27th of March 2023. Someone move? Move, Councillor Watts. Second, Councillor Clout. Questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Carried. Disclosure of interests?
Nothing received yet, Mr. Mayor.
Nil. Okay, we'll move straight over to the agenda items. On page 12 is infrastructure services. Mr. GM.
Mr. Mayor, just a quick amendment. We put two amendments to this matter and the next matter just on councillors' desks. Just in regard to this one on page 17 of the minutes. Just for clarity, there was no title on the resolution, so we councillors should note that it's in regard to MR 358, the rectification works update. This is the confidential resolution, and that the decision was that council confirmed the decision taken at the closed Infrastructure Services Committee meeting on the 11th of April 2023 regarding rectification works for the Main Road 358 project. And while I'm speaking, Mr. Mayor, if I can address the next item too for corporate services, similar matter on page 33 of the minutes. Again, just for clarity in regard to the confidential matter, it was reported that it was part of the property update, but just to be totally clear, I suggest changing the original recommendation as recorded in the minutes that the committee note the report to the committee note the updates on the property strategy report, but that is all part of the councillor package on their desks.
Thank you, Mr. GM. So we weren't clear on the small bit to the infrastructure services. We're going to move it as move Councillor Campbell, second Councillor Clout. Questions, comment, discussion? All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Over to page 24, the corporate services again with the GM called out that little small change. Happy, Councillor Burns. Seconder, Councillor Williamson. Any questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Councillor Flaherty,
Sorry, are we up to the corporate services?
Yep.
Yeah. There's also another change in the minutes, item 4.2 on page 32. It says the response from the general manager was advised that the correct interpretation of the council's figures would be forwarded to all councillors. If you review the meeting itself at 22 minutes 54, it's actually will send the correct figures. So that needs to be amended that it's the correct figures that are being sent.
Mr. Mayor, the figures were correct. It's just the interpretation has been incorrect. You can change the minutes if you want to be an exact representation of what was said at the time, but the actual intent was that the correct interpretation. How council chooses to minute that's up to them.
Well, in the meeting, you said that you will send the correct figures. You'd said that some of the figures were incorrect. So if it is the case now that the figures aren't incorrect and the figures were correct, well, then that would be great to have minuted properly. But in that meeting, it was said we will send the correct figures.
I'm not doubting that that's probably what I said, Mr. Mayor. I haven't listened to the recording. There's no incorrect figures. Mr. Phelps can confirm if there's incorrect figures. But there were incorrect figures in Councillor Flaherty's report, which was what I was referring to. So if they've been interpreted incorrectly, we can send out the correct interpretation. As I said, how you record it
Through
in
you,
minutes.
Mr. Mayor, my question in that meeting was which figures were incorrect? And you said that I was going to be sent the figures which were incorrect, which were council's own figures, and we're trying to get to the bottom of that. So now you're saying the figures aren't incorrect?
Mr. Mayor, what I said was in response to Councillor Flaherty's question, I said I would send the correct figures. That was, we were to send out the corrections to the figures that she had put in her report that were incorrect. We would send out the correct figures for that report. That doesn't mean council's figures were incorrect. It means the figures that were in her report were misinterpreted and we would correct them.
Okay, we've got a mover of Councillor Burns and Councillor Williamson have moved the minutes to true and correct. You are happy with that?
I see no need to change.
No need to change it. Both mover and seconder are happy. Okay, all in favour, show of hands. Collison, Williamson, Watts, McPhee, Mackenzie, Clout, Campbell, Burns for, Councillor Flaherty against. Motion is carried. Over to page 34, C04.1, the Scone Town Revitalisation Committee. Got a mover. Move Councillor Clout. No seconder?
Seconded.
Second, Councillor Burns. Any questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Motion is carried. Over to page 43, C04.2, the Bill Rose Sporting Complex User Group Committee Additional Membership Nomination. Move Councillor McPhee, second, Councillor Burns.
I would like to propose an amendment though, Mr. Mayor, with the councillors' permission, that the actual participants not be named, just members of the association. So if it's the Scone Junior Cricket, they send a representative. It's not an actual individual, it's a member of their committee. So as the chair, I think I can handle, if they turn up, I can say, righto, everyone only gets one vote if they're from a committee. Obviously we would need names of that committee, but we don't need to have, it's a bit prescriptive at the moment. We've had trouble with quorums, and the original thought for the committee was to actually have members of the association, predominantly the president or the chairman or the grand poobah, whatever they want to call them. But if they had to send someone in their stead, they had representation there as a voter. So I'd like that looked at if we could, please.
Thank you, Councillor, but that would be to do with the charter, Mr. Jennings, wouldn't it?
I believe so. I think the original intent was that the committees nominate who they were happy to have represent them, rather than just turning up and saying they're representing a particular committee, but we can look at mechanism and report back.
Okay, move Councillor McPhee, second Councillor Burns. Any more questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Carried. Over to page 45, E04.1, Underground Petroleum Storage System, Regulations and Order Program. The mover. Move Councillor McPhee, second Councillor Williamson. Questions, comment, discussion? Councillor Williamson.
I will, just for the sake of it, have a quick comment. This is just, it's only small, but this is just another piece of regulation pushed on us from EPA. So our staff are now doing, and all contractors are doing roles that the EPA should be tasked with, but they're pushing their workload down the chain onto us, and it should be noted.
Thank you, Councillor Williamson. Note that there somewhere. All in favour? Against? Motion is carried. Over to page 50, the draft delivery program 2020, 22, 23, 24, 25, and operational plan 23/2024. Move councillor Burns, second councillor McPhee. Questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Carried. To page 54, G 04.1, 10 Mile Mountain Telecommunication Facility. Mover. Move councillor McPhee, second councillor Campbell. Questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Carried. Over to page 67, G 04.2, the CASA surveillance report. Got a mover. Move councillor McPhee, second councillor Clout. Questions, comment, discussion?
I'll just make one comment, Mr. Mayor. Well done to the staff out there. We've got some new staff out there, and well done to them for keeping it at such a low level. We have had these in the past where they've been a lot higher. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that is, especially with my proximity to the airport. But I think they've done a fantastic job. They're working with less staff now than they have in the past. And yeah, well done.
Councillor Burns, certainly agree with you there. Any more comments? No more questions? All in favour? Against? Carried. Over to page 102. Planning agreement offer, the Goulburn River Solar Farm project. Move councillor Campbell? No. What would you like to do, councillor Campbell? Was your
Can I change that to acceptance of the alternative offer with a slight amendment that the $325 index be increased to $529 per megawatt installed, and the 180,000 included to the 291,000 as the index, whichever is the greater.
So, councillor Campbell, I'm just a little bit confused at this stage. Are you putting an amendment up, or?
Well, I guess that would be correct. I just wondered how that I would delete the resolution that's there, which I disagree with.
So you're going, councillor Campbell, just down, you're going to option 2 on page 100. Is that correct?
Well, it's 103 in my bag, but that's correct, yes. Alternative offer.
Yep.
Yes, that would be option 2.
As it is read.
Well, I was asking for
I have 3.
the change the $329 to $529
Yep.
and the point B to $291 index. So it'd be option 2. Yes, you're quite correct. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. I was a little confused.
Option 2 with A and B from option 1. So he wants that.
On page 1.
Oh, you that brought over.
He wants that.
29 there.
So he wants that figure there, wants that figure there, but he wants the first paragraph of option 2.
Mr. Pringle, do you wish to?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, just option 2. So the wording would have to change. It's actually not an offer on the table from Lightsource BP. So at this stage, option 2 saying accept the offer. So it's not actually an offer. So it's basically a counter offer. Council.
Yeah. Well,
First of all,
thank you.
everyone clear?
That's where I was reading on the page 103, the alternative offer. So it may be that whichever way it is, but that is what I would like. That's the motion I'd like to put up.
Can I, everyone, I have cherry picking the best of both.
Yeah, can you clear it up, Mr. G?
Um,
You'll have a second. Are we real clear on the motion?
Yeah, just to get clarity on the motion. If you look at page 104 of the business paper, there's 2 options there. I think what councillor Campbell is suggesting is to use the words cherry pick, possibly the wrong words, but he's picking the highest figures from both sections. At the moment, option 1 and option 2 have the same financial equivalence. Doesn't matter which one you choose, it has the same financial impact on the applicant. If you go for option 2, I believe you're asking for them to fully reconstruct 4.7 kilometres of road to a value of 4.4 million, but you also want them to pay council the fully indexed figure that's listed in part 1A of $529 per megawatt and $291,000 in cash. Is that correct, councillor, that you're asking for both?
Yes, that's what I like. That is what I would like.
Okay, so that would be a much higher offer from the applicant than they've currently offered. As I said, part 1 and part 2 have equal financial impact on the applicant and they're happy with either. What you're asking for is to go back. So it wouldn't be, it's not an accepted offer at this stage. It would be a counter offer that we'd need to go back to them with.
Okay, we're all clear. We've got a seconder. We've got a seconder. Seconded by councillor Flaherty. Campbell.
Can I foreshadow a motion, please?
You can foreshadow, Mr. Councillor Burns, if this motion gets lost, we'll go back to the original. I think over to the foreshadowed, sorry, if this motion is lost, we're putting up now. But you know, no need to tell us about it. You just put the claim in. You can tell us now. Oh,
So the foreshadowed motion would be that council defer this until staff have had time to go back to Lighthouse VP and negotiate a better settlement.
okay, so we're clear, councillors. We're going to put the motion up. Or do you want to speak to close the debate?
I guess I can, my reasons I think we have discussed regarding the extra amount of funds. But I'm really not against what councillor Burns has said. So
I suggest.
otherwise I could,
You've either got to-
anyway, we'll put that up.
You've either got to withdraw it.
Okay, I will withdraw it then. Okay.
So councillor Campbell and moved and second by councillor Flaherty has withdrawn.
Yep.
The motion. Yep. Yep. Okay, councillors, so we're all aware now, we're going back to councillor Burns as foreshadowed. If the foreshadowed is lost, there's the end of debate because there's nothing in front of us to debate any further. So we're going back to the foreshadowed, we've heard it.
Through you, Mr. Chair, don't we then go back to the original?
No,
No, councillors. So the original hasn't been moved. It's just a recommendation from staff. No councillor has moved it. A councillor could move it as a foreshadowed motion right now.
I'd like
So,
to move it as a.
In the
foreshadowed
event
motion.
that councillor Burns's motion is lost, it would at least give council something to debate.
you could go back to another foreshadow.
I'd like to foreshadow to the original recommendation.
Right, but we're going to deal with councillor Burns as foreshadowed. And we had a seconder, didn't we? You had a seconder? Hands are flying. Councillor Clout is a seconder for this foreshadowed. Everyone's clear on the foreshadowed motion? Okay, we're going to put the foreshadowed up. If the foreshadow is lost, we're going to councillor McPhee's other foreshadowed motion. All in favour of the foreshadowed motion? So there's Collison, Williamson, Watts, McKenzie, Flaherty, Clout, Campbell and Burns for the foreshadowed. And against the foreshadowed is councillor McPhee. The foreshadowed motion is passed. Thank you. Over to page 106, the planning agreement offer for Bowman's Creek Wind Farm. Gonna move up. Move councillor Clout. Second, councillor Williamson. Questions, comment, discussion. All in favour? Against? That was a bit easier. Harry. Over to page 109, G04.5, return and earn reverse vending machine in Scone. Councillors, you've got it all in front of you. We've got a mover for the recommendation. Move Councillor Williamson, second Councillor Watts. Councillor Watts moved. Councillor Williamson second. You wish to speak to the,
Yes, Mr Mayor, just to make sure that we do consult with the people that are down there. I believe the B doubles might have trouble where we're looking at their place at the moment.
thank you. No other questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Carried. Request for donations on page 114. The mover, want to do them as a block, or we want to do them individually?
Like to do them individually.
Individually?
We do individual.
Individually it is. Dot point one. Donation to Taylor Brown for $500. Move councillor Watts, second councillor McPhee. Questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Carried. Dot point two, donation to St Joseph's Primary, Merriwall. Move councillor Campbell, second councillor Mackenzie. Questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Carried. Dot point three, provide a donation to the Scone Tidy Towns Committee.
And
Move with an amendment, councillor Burns.
Provide a donation to the Scone Tidy Towns Committee to assist the COP, blah, blah, blah. To the value of $500 as per point three.
Have a seconder. Seconder, councillor Watts. Questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Carried. Dot point four, not to provide a donation to the New South Wales Rural Doctors Network. Got a mover. Move councillor Burns, second councillor McPhee. Questions, comment, discussion, councillor.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just a bit at sea regarding, I don't seem to have any information about that. I know nothing about it. Can someone please enlighten us if this is something that council has supported before? Is it something that has just been brought in that we have to do that? And so what are the implications for the council to provide that funding? Is just a cash plus, or is it just can we have some more information, please?
Mr. GM.
Through you, Mr Mayor. Councillors, there's about 15 pages of attachments in regard to New South Wales Rural Doctors Network with your papers. Probably the biggest thing to note is that in addition to the $3,000, which only provides a placement for a medical person for 2 weeks, there's quite an onerous task list of requests that the local government provider has to provide. They are outlined in the business paper report. Probably whilst the $3,000 could be accommodated within our budget, the reality is we don't have staff to be able to continue to do all the tasks that are requested in the business paper requests.
Through you, Mr Chair. From what I'm understanding with this, it was going to be actually considerably more than the $3,000 because it would actually have been taking staff away from their other jobs. And it was only for a 2-week timeframe, as far as I'm aware.
Okay, councillors, we've got a mover and we've got a seconder. No more questions, comment, discussion. All in favour?
Can I foreshadow? To provide a donation to the New South Wales Rural Doctors Network to the value of $3,000 without the additional support.
We got a seconder. Second, councillor Flaherty. So that's the foreshadowed. Any questions?
I'll just make a comment to finish it out if that's all right, Mr. Mayor. The Rural Doctors Network is an awesome organisation. I'm really pleased that they do the work that they do. However, health is a state and federal issue. We've got enough issues of our own. We need to stick in our lane. And that's why I'm saying that they can go to the state and ask for the funds, because the state's got no problem with pushing their unfunded mandates on us as per the EPA just before. But the Rural Doctors Network can go to the state and find the funding for here. There's plenty of accommodation up at the hospital now. I've seen it. It's there. They can utilise that and they can do those training programs through there. It's not the council's role to be in there.
Right, councillor Burns, so that's, you're speaking on your motion, so I'm going to put the original recommendation up. That is lost, we'll go to the foreshadow. Okay, all in favour of the original not to provide? Collison, Burns, Campbell, Mackenzie, McPhee, and 2. Oh, was carried, so that's, yeah. So that recommendation is carried as is. Okay, over to page. Late report somewhere. Everyone got? Oh, I got that late report.
It was sent out on LG.
Oh, yeah, right. Has everyone got the copy on LG Hub? The late report return and earn reverse vending machine in Merriwar.
Yes.
Everyone got it? Yep, beautiful. So everyone's aware?
Yeah.
Everyone's happy, so I've got a mover as for the recommendation in front of us. Councillor Campbell, second councillor Williamson. Any questions, comment, discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, look, this has been something that's been very much alive in Merriwar for some time, and it's just a shame that it has come back, that it's got to be moved once again. So I'm hoping that after the community's consultation, that they come back and agree with that site, if it is possible. I'm not sure the implications as to whether it should not be there, but my understanding from a member of the community that was the original spot that they wanted and they selected, and for some reason it was shifted. So I'm hoping at this time it gets around. We do need that return and earn facility at Merriwar, and so I'm really pleased and hope that it can get up.
Here, we spent enough time out. I thought it was already locked in, but anyway, we're here tonight to support it. Got a mover and we've got a seconder. Yep, no more questions, comment, discussion. All in favour? Against? Carried. Over to page 135, Post Island Road, Kilo Road, Merriwar. Recommendation is in front of you, councillors.
Could I move with an amendment, please?
Move with an amendment.
I just think the wordings is a little bit confusing. So could we have it so clear, for example, it says that council not permanently close nor or sell, because it kind of almost means you could actually interpret as not close but sell. If we could just have that a bit clearer, please.
I'm happy with that. Got a seconder? Second, councillor Campbell. Questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? It's carried. To page 140 is the draft of the Bill Rose Sports Complex Master Plan. Councillor Burns. Second, councillor McPhee. Any questions, comment?
Mr. Mayor, this complex master plan comes to the council after, I think it's been a year of work from the committee. They got off to a bit of a rough trot, but they've come home at the end. $50,000 in funding from the state to put together the master plan. What was brought back to us actually takes the organisation of the facility down there and makes it more of a fluid environment. So it takes into account that it is a flood zone. It takes into account that we will have marshes around the area, and it actually makes utilisation of that area. It's got something for everyone down there. Every user group got something out of it. Hockey didn't get exactly what they wanted, but they still get some fields. And it takes into account that we need to have drainage down there so that we can play all weathers. There's lighting, there's increase in netball, there's increase in toilet facilities, there's increase in just walking paths for people to go down there and exercise. So I endorse this to the council and ask that they come for the ride with us, because to get this one done will be fun. This one's a big one.
Thank you, councillor Burns. Councillor Campbell.
Mr. Mayor, can I foreshadow an extra point in there, .3 point on that?
If you wish to add a dot point, you'd only have to amend.
Well, amend
the
it.
front and add a dot point.
Yeah, an added dot point, and can I read that out now? That the RV parking area allocated to remain in the master plan. I just think it's, I don't know if I'm allowed to speak to it or not. Right, so that'll be a
I'll get a
.3.
seconder First, councillor Campbell, so that's amendment to .3. I've got a seconder for the .3. Councillor Williamson. .3. Do you wish to speak any more to it?
Yeah, I do, Mr. Mayor. Look, I think this, I don't disagree with anything that the mover that councillor Burns has said. I think it's great, but I just think that the two can exist. Well, look, we've got a discussion now going on at Merriwell. Where's the RV parking area? We've got an RV parking area in Scone, which is just great. But don't you think with the two could, a compromise could be worked out and the two could exist together, because it's just a great facility down there as well as the RV parking area. So.
Okay,
I'd like to speak to that.
you
Through you,
speak
Mr. Chair.
Hang on, what are we voting on here?
You're voting on the recommendation, which is .1 and 2.
And 3.
I
And
don't-
3, yeah.
through
One
you,
and
Mr.
2
Chair.
and 3.
I don't think that the mover was recast if he was allowing the amendment.
No, I didn't have it.
Councillors, there's two ways you can deal with this. Sorry, Mr. Mayor, if I can explain. If the mover and the seconder don't accept the amendment can be considered on its own merit. It'll be considered in advance of the original motion put forward by councillor Burns. So I'm getting the signal that councillor Burns is not accepting the amendment. So the amendment will be considered on its own.
Yeah, I don't have a choice.
Yep.
but-
No, that's fine. So councillors you can debate the amendment and then vote on the amendment.
So the amendment is, we've got the floor.
Through you, Mr. Chair.
Mover. Yes, councillor.
This went through a lot of community consultation. I'm, as well as councillor Burns, is on the committee for the Bill Rose user group. It is categorically something that the user groups do not want down there. It was sold to them as a temporary solution for an RV site. It's not at all in the plans in the future. Doesn't mean it won't be there for the interim, but it is not something that anyone who is using the grounds currently wants to have down there, whether that's for any reasons. I'm down at the complex daily, and there are often caravans parked in the wrong places. With the gates open, there is damage to the fields at times with people going on their four-wheel drives. It is not something that I think is going to be conducive to what we want down there. This is going to be for our local people, and I think that we need to listen to our community who have said categorically that they don't think it's going to be fitting in the framework of the future for this area.
Thank you, councillor McPhee. I don't agree, but anyway. Councillor, are you speaking?
I'll just speak, well, I suppose it's against the amendment, because this is an endorsement of the master plan to go on exhibition for no less than 28 days. If you say that the RV park's staying and we don't care what you say, which is what that's saying up there, why are we going to the community at all? So I know both sides of the argument, Mr. Mayor. I've been in the room. I was here when we voted to put it down there. I stuck my hand up for it. But I think at the moment we've had advice and we need to let the community have a chat.
Well, I think that's what this is, councillor Burns. The .3 is in there, so that will go out to the community, Mr. GM. That's correct, with a .3 for community feedback. Okay, so the debates over that will be the recommendation with the .1, 2, and 3. All in favour, show of hands, please, for the amendment. We've got Collison, Campbell, McKenzie, and Williamson for it. Against. Councillor Burns, Clout, Flaherty, McPhee, and Watts. So the amendment is lost. Correct. Yep. Okay, back to the original motion. The recommendation, sorry. Moved by councillor Burns, second by councillor McPhee. No more questions, no more comment. So that is passed. Show of hands. Vote. I don't. Oh, sorry, I voted wrong there. Yeah, I'm against the recommendation. Adam and myself against.
No, sorry, I was.
And councillor McKenzie and councillor Campbell, you reverse to the original motion, okay? No, yeah, it didn't have to, but yep. Okay, correspondence on page 179. Just move, councillor Burns, second. Second, councillor McPhee. Any questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Motion is carried. Okay, someone like to move me into confidential, please? Move, councillor McPhee, second, councillor Watts. All in favour? Against? Carried.